Young Barack Obama, the 1960s. The Titanic's smokestack, sometime in the 1900s. Dr. Ribeiro, a Goan physician, was riding his zebra on the streets of Nairobi in the early 1900s. He played a key role in containing the plague outbreaks in 1905 and 1906. Young cowgirls are posing for a picture in 1928 in San Antonio, Texas. The Crawlers, from 1877. The Crawlers were the poorest people in Britain. This elderly widow is sitting outside a tailor's shop, holding a baby while its mother is at work. She received a cup of tea and a slice of bread every day in exchange for her help. School children are eagerly waiting for their lunches. The government provided them free of charge for all students. This was in Abadan, Iran, in the 1970s. Sixth grade teacher Catherine M. Rooney is explaining to her students how to use the so-called War Ration Book 2 when they are shopping. This was in February of 1943. Prince Alexander of Serbia and Ante Trumbic of the Yugoslav Committee are meeting in Greece. They're there to negotiate the terms for a unified South Slav state. This would later become Yugoslavia. The year is 1917. On August 18, 1944, at the Liberation, 11 women suspected of collaboration were shorn in Chartres, France, as a sign of humiliation, including Simone Tussaud. This is a mugshot of Neal Cassady from 1958. He was a big influence on the Beat Generation writers. He got arrested in April of 1958 for having marijuana and spent 2 years in San Quentin. Street acrobats were common in Japan during the 1880s. A monkey is on a hippo. In between takes during the filming of A Very Private Affair, 1962. Nicole Kidman at the premiere of The Firm in Beverly Hills, California on June 28, 1993. Crewmen of the USS Texas pose on one of the main battery guns around 1918. Wernher von Braun, the former director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, is driving a prototype of the lunar roving vehicle from the Apollo era back in 1965. Director Ousmane Sembene, known to many as the father of African cinema, is on his film sets in Senegal, West Africa. German orphans lined up for food in post-war Berlin, 1945. All right, so we're talking about a former boxer, and this is in Sydney, Australia, in 1980. Queen Latifah in front of the Empire State Building in New York City in 1989. A Mi-8 of the Russian Air Force was shot down by Chechen militants near Grozny in 1994. Albert Einstein and his wife Elsa at their residence in Pasadena, California in 1931. A dinosaur is being delivered for display at the Boston Museum of Science in 1984. Electrocution for body contouring, Chicago, United States of America, 1950. Stephen King with his $12,000 Wang word processor, 1982. Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor in Superman 3, released in 1983. A woman is washing windows above the Nachfolger Mandler Neumann Speditionen, which is a shipping agent. The address is Ferdinandstrasse, Leopoldstadt, Vienna, sometime in the 1930s. Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant in Notting Hill, 1999. Bud the Pit Bull became the first dog to cross the United States in an automobile alongside his owner, Horatio Nelson Jackson, in 1903. On August 17, 1945, Sukarno declares Indonesian independence. This would mark the start of the War of Independence against the Netherlands until 1949. David Lynch and his father are collecting firewood, 1949. At a New York restaurant, there's a human menu. It's 1968. United States President's wife, Patricia Nixon, tries ice cream during her visit to the USSR in 1972. Secret Service agents responded to the Augusta National Golf Course incident. An armed man took hostages and demanded to speak to President Reagan on October 23, 1983. Sergeant Mike Lewis, a cameraman with the British Army Film and Photographic Unit, films the burial of the dead after the liberation of the concentration camp at Bergen-Belsen. The crew of the steamship RMS Carpathia, which rescued survivors from the Titanic, are seated here. In the middle is Captain Sir Arthur Henry Rostron, and this was taken in 1912. There's a woman in a traditional bathtub. This is in Japan in 1911. Here we have Stump Horn Bull, also known as Stump Horn Bull, or Hale Stone, a member of the Crow Nation. This was taken in the 1880s by Christian Barthelmess. What a breathtakingly handsome man. Harriet Tubman as a younger woman. Most people see photos of her later in life, but here she is at 43 to 46 years old in 1868 to 69. Also, there's a notice about her as a runaway in 1849. A 50s pocket transistor radio. So, we're talking about the White Castle Hamburgers Cafe, and it was established in 1921. There are goats on a truck. A state-sponsored memorial service for Czech victims killed during the United States bombing of Prague in German-occupied Czechoslovakia, February 1945. There's a young girl fighting for the Lon Nol regime against the Khmer Rouge. This happened during the Cambodian Civil War in the 1970s. Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler in 1994. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, exploring China in the 1990s. There's a U.S. Marine with his good luck charm, a picture of a pinup girl from the 1940s. It's by the famous Peruvian artist, Alberto Vargas. Mata Hari, 1899. Ronald Reagan with Marilyn Monroe, Los Angeles, 1959. Monica Bellucci, 1988. It's not a drive-in, it's a ride-in. A removable radio, 1957. Performers of the Circus of Little People, they prefer to be called that, in Paris, 1949. Oh, this talks about polio and arthritic patients. It looks like it's from the 1900s. Washington, D.C. A demonstration of the experimental Army tracked vehicle, the Model T. This comes from the Harrison Ewing Glass Negative Collection, 1920. The VS-300 was the first practical helicopter, designed and piloted by Igor Sikorsky on May 13, 1940. Joseph Stalin is with his son Vasily and daughter Svetlana. The year is 1935. Folks seem to be having a great time at a double wedding in Harlem, New York during the 1940s. Joe and Katherine Jackson are posing with their superstar sons, the Jackson 5, in their home in Encino, California in 1971. A week's ration for one adult during World War II. Madonna in New York, 1986. Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill in the late 70s. Queen Elizabeth II, moments before Marcus Sargent fires 6 blank shots at her in 1981. A back treatment with a bear, Romania, 1946. Serial killer Albert Fish. After killing, he not only dismembered the bodies, but also consumed parts of the flesh. A car is driving through a tunnel log. It's in Sequoia National Park, sometime during the 1950s. There's a teddy bear in the pioneer camp of the Leningrad metal plant. This was in 1960. So, Bill Gates, he got arrested in 1977 for driving without a license. Sigourney Weaver on the set of Ghostbusters, 1984. Biggie Smalls, Tupac, and Redman were hanging out together at a club in New York City in 1993. It was the early 90s when they made Terminator 2. The way they did practical effects was pretty cool. They used a lot of physical effects like miniatures, prosthetics, and even real explosions. They built a miniature of a truck that got blown up. For the T-1000's morphing abilities, they used a combination of prosthetics and CGI, creating the illusion that it could change shape. It was a mix of old and new techniques to make the film's effects look amazing. Bruce Lee and his family in the 1970s. On June 3, 1968, Andy Warhol was the victim of an assassination attempt. A radical feminist shot the artist 3 times in the stomach. The bullets hit his lungs, esophagus, spleen, liver, and stomach. Italy, 1940s. It's a wedding. The older generation is really happy, and the mother is holding her son tightly. Filming of the cult British TV series Doctor Who. Cybermen against the backdrop of St. Paul's Cathedral, London, 1968. A Jewish woman, hiding her face, sits on a park bench. The bench is marked, "For Jews Only." This happened in Austria in 1938. Rebecca Romijn in the 1990s. Cars of the American Red Cross Transportation Department were set up for inspection by Majors Perkins and Osborne on July 7, 1918. A woman from the city of Ramallah has a headdress made out of rolls of silver coins. This was in 1898. It's a winter day in Siberia in the USSR. In 1936, Isabella Gilbert invented a device to create dimples. Sylvester Stallone is photographed at the New York premiere of Rocky in 1976. Aeronaut, New York or vicinity around 1910, J.M. Johnson in Blériotype. There are 3 Somali men, and they're wearing traditional clothing. This was in the early 1900s. Ginger Rogers is in the spotlight in Gold Diggers of 1933. The Las Vegas Club in Las Vegas, Nevada, around the 1930s. Germany, 1945. A child cries while someone's treating them with lice powder. At Drury's Bluff, Virginia, there was a sling cart used in removing captured artillery during the American Civil War, around 1865. Antanas Smetona, the first president of Lithuania, on horseback. This was in Lithuania around the 1930s. The minor scale test happened on June 27, 1985. April 1943, Dallas, Texas. Linotype operators at the Dallas Morning News. Kate Lee, a Sydney crime boss, led gangs and was involved in the sale of illegal alcohol and drugs in 1930. This is from the NS Dollars Police Forensic Photo Archive. The brothel, Jenny Bothers, was famous throughout the Wild West, in Arizona, United States, in 1896. Protest against the use of corporal punishment, London, 1972. The George Washington Bridge opened in 1931. Raquel Welch on the set of 1 Million Years BC, 1966. Burundian Tutsi dictator Michel Micombero is inspecting troops in 1970. Micombero became head of the country when he was only 25 years old, and people thought he was an unstable alcoholic. In 1972, he started a genocidal campaign of violence against the Hutus, Kelly LeBrock in the 1980s. Monica Bellucci and Alessandro Gassman in the 1990s. The Beatles get ready to cross Abbey Road for the cover of their self-titled album. College girls are tuning into a show on a portable television set in their dorm at Wellesley College in 1949. There's a good-looking couple, Elvis and Anne Margaret, filming Viva Las Vegas in 1964. Alright, so we've got a portable hairdryer with a cap, and it's from the 1950s. Che Guevara on the left in Cuba during a time of revolution in 1959. A Palestinian Christian was photographed during protests against the Israeli occupation at Bethlehem in 1988. Someone swinging on the barrel of a destroyed German gun. This was in the Soviet Union in 1944. In the Dardanelles, the Allied fleet blows up a disabled ship that interfered with navigation during World War I. The Zwinger Pavilion, Dresden, Germany. Muhammad Ali and Pelé, 1977. These are behind-the-scenes photos from the making of the classic science fiction film, The Incredible Shrinking Man, from 1957. Steve Wozniak's working on a computer prototype in the famous garage in 1980. Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin and Japanese Foreign Minister Yosuke Matsuoka are posing together after signing the Neutrality Pact in Moscow. This was on April 13, 1941. It's 1951, and everyone is trying to beat the heat in the office. Let's Go Fishin' is a beloved children's game. It uses magnetic fishing rods and rotating plastic fish on a game board. Players use the magnetic rods to catch fish as they circle with open mouths. It came out in 1979. It's Pablo Picasso in Paris, 1939. The burning remains of one of the American ships after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Johnny Depp and Al Pacino on the set of Donnie Brasco in 1997. Rosemary Mueller's reaction, 1966. 9-year-old Rosemary Mueller from Long Island is recovering from heart surgery. She's watching a similar operation being performed live on television. Kids are enjoying swings. This is Finland in the 1950s. A German student is taking part in a racial education class in Nazi Germany, 1943. Disney animators were in the studio in 1942 studying a live deer. This was part of their extensive research for the animated film Bambi,